let me just get this out of the way here really quick. So as I was saying last week, WrestleMania was coming up, right? Being in an empty arena. Right. Yeah. So anyway, I watched it this weekend, and I share a lot of sentiments with a lot of my fellow pro wrestling fans that, given what they had, they made it work in certain situations. And I'll give you a few examples.
But before we get started, please take the time to hit that subscribe button and the bell to stay notified of all of our videos right here on Miscellaneous Debris.
There were two things specifically that stood out. On Saturday night, they had what was called a Boneyard match between AJ Styles and the dead man, The Undertaker.
Yes. I have a funny story about that, by the way.
He's still wrestling. Right. The second night, we had a Firefly Funhouse match between John Cena and Bray Wyatt. These were not your typical wrestling matches. One was shot in an actual wrestling ring, but really had little to do with actual wrestling. It was very, very story-based. And the Boneyard match between AJ Styles and The Undertaker was shot like a horror movie. They used red 4K cameras. It was very cinematic. The lighting was awesome. Both matches were about 30 minutes long. I don't even want to call them matches because they weren't matches. They were just, psychology fights. But I got to say, those were two of the best things that I have seen on WWE television creatively and just aesthetically that I've seen in years upon years upon years. And I don't think that we would have gotten that had this whole situation not arisen. So I'm very grateful that we were able to get that. However, with the rest of the matches that they showed, it was awkward. I took it as it was, but I gotta say, I give the whole entire experience 2 thumbs up, both for effort and for what I saw with what they were, with the hand that they were dealt. They told you to pick up the trump when you've got 9s and 10s, and then you end up pulling it off. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you got the 9, 10 of diamonds, and you got the 10 of hearts, and you're like, fuck it, hearts, call it up trump, let's go, come on. Go. you gotta count on your partner for at least one,
Right, and then immediately you're like, okay, I need you for 3.
Yeah, right. By the way, these are all called euchre references. There's a great card game called euchre that people play in.
People don't understand it.
Up north. It's the greatest card game in the history of the world.
The Undertaker, I'm like, is this like the Undertaker 5th version of him? Like, she's like, no, it's the same one. I'm like, he has to be 70. So I looked it up. I think he's only 60 or 50, and he's late 50s.
Yeah.
But I mean, shit, he must have been fucking 18 years old when he started, because he's been around for 30 years.
So when we saw him at the Survivor Series 1991, that was his second year in that was the end of his first year in WWE. And I believe he was 24, 25 when that happened.
I'm going to find out right now.
I think. Don't quote me on that.
I looked up the next day because I'm like, this guy's got to be 70. And he's not. He wasn't as old as I thought he was. No. He's only 55. He was born in 65. So at that one, he would have been 24 years old.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I can't believe he's still he still does this as a thing.
He only wrestles once a year, and when
because his body can't take it. He's like that rubber band you pull out of the fucking drawer, and you're like, whoa, is this one gonna make it? This thing might snap if I use it, but you go for it anyways because it's all you got, right? So you pull it out of there, you're like, oh. I'm coming along on Zelda, by the way. I'm playing it's an hour, maybe 2 hours a day, just fucking around.
Nice.
I'm trying to get all the hearts and everything.
So okay, so explain to everyone that doesn't know what happened to you the other day when you turned on your Zelda game.
All right, so we've had this Super Nintendo forever. I don't know if it's the original one we ever had when we were kids, but we have this Super Nintendo. And we have a game, Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, best game ever, probably in my opinion.
Yep.
I
agree.
And we had, I think there were, you can save three names in there, or 3 games, right?
Yep.
One of them was Rick D. I think one was Rick or whatever. I don't know if maybe you were up there too. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But 2 of them were done with the game. You had all the hearts, you had everything.
Yeah.
And one of them was like halfway done. I think maybe you had jumped in there one time last time you were up here, but we were pretty far along. Well, quarantine starts and I was playing it and I was like, sweet. So I kept on going. And I got like halfway done, more than that, halfway done with the Dark World stuff. So I had like a couple of the maidens, and whatever, the crystals. And I just paused the game and turned it back to TV, and I waited like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to go turn the game back on, and all I did was I just flipped it over from from the TV to there was like a game option for like the input, and like the screen was like all fucked up, like it was black, and I could something was coming through, but you couldn't really see what it was. It looked like gibberish, and I was like, well, this kind of sucks. So I kind of messed around a little bit and trying to move the cables around without pulling them out. And I'm like, nothing helped. So I'm like, well, I'll just turn the game off and turn it back on. So because
the normal Nintendo solution,
the shit should be saved, right? Like, so I'm like, oh, whatever, I don't care. Because I'd left off, I'd saved it, and then that's why I stopped the game and turned the TV, because I wouldn't just stop in the middle of something. So I turn it off, turn the power back on, nothing comes up. Turn it off, turn it on, nothing comes up. Did like 4 or 5 times, nothing shows up. So I'm like, well, shit. So I eject the game, do the old Nintendo standby blowing into it. I don't know if it works. I think they told you not to do that, but I do it anyways.
Whatever.
Shut the game back in there. Nothing works. I'm like, what the hell? So I hit the reset, the select.
Yeah.
I think it says reset. Maybe it says select. I hit that a couple times. Still nothing. I'm like, what the fuck? This is driving me nuts. So I pull the game out again, and I put it back in, and I turn the power on, and pops up. Boop, and it doesn't give me the option. It doesn't. Yeah. So yeah, I get the intro music, and it goes right to the select your player, and there's nothing there.
Oh.
They're all gone.
Brutal.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? Even the one that's been there for probably 20 years is gone.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, I feel like I'm getting punked. I'm waiting for Ashton Kutcher to jump out like, haha, we got you. I was not happy about that. So anyways, I started over. So right now I think I've got one full, I got all the hearts in the top, and I got like 3 in the bottom. And I'm on the second palace in the Dark World. Nice. But I'm taking my time. I'm like trying to collect everything I can and like, try to get everything.
Yeah,
I got the Quake medallion this morning and Zora's flippers and.
So that's one of my things. So like whenever I'm playing a new game, like keep in mind, like I know I've said this a million times, but like I am a born again gamer, right? I don't do anything online because I feel that it will take up my entire life. But every game that I get, so like I've played in the past, the Spider-Man on PS4, which is almost as good as Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Same thing with Arkham Asylum. All the Arkham games. I played Wolfenstein, New Order, and now I'm in the middle of playing Jedi Fallen Order on PS4. Yeah. So my go-to thing is, at the first go of the game, I'll play everything at the easy difficulty level, because at that point I'm learning the mechanics. I'm not worried about how I'm completing the game. I'm worried about the mechanics. I'm worried about getting everything down as to how to play this game, as opposed to trying to beat it on the toughest level that there is the first time you're trying to do it. Sure. So I gradually progress. Like how what I did with like Arkham Asylum and all those games was I would beat the game first, and then I would figure out where everything was, and then I would change the difficulty, and I would raise the difficulty, and then I would beat it on that level. And then I would, but the beating it isn't exactly the point of these games. You know what I mean? Like how you're saying, you've got to get all the Riddler trophies. You've got to get all of the chattering teeth. I mean, like with Zelda, you want to get all the heart containers. You want to make sure that you get all of the tools that you can get, which you don't have to do.
No,
it's
you
just
don't have to.
there that you can. It's just there to do it. So I mean, like as I progress in the game or how many times I play it, I change exactly what I'm trying to accomplish while I'm doing that. So I understand the purpose of getting it done with 100%. You know what I mean?
You want to get it done too.
Yeah.
Can I do? I'm gonna do some griping now with fucking this game. Like, I can't believe that they couldn't pick a better animal to fly you around in Hyrule when you blow in the flute. No, it's a duck.
Is it a duck? I always thought it was a pigeon.
It's a duck. I'm like, couldn't you get like an eagle or something? Like, do you actually think a duck is gonna pick someone up and fly him around this world? Like, who thought of this stuff? I don't know.
You know,
it's you might as well just get one of the kitchen or the chickens from the village. You have to have them fly you around. Like, so stupid.
What's your go-to weapon in that game?
I haven't got it yet, but the next one I think I get when I beat the next palace is the hook shot.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So it's the hook shot for sure. It does so much.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
It's got a faster release than the boomerang. It has the same effect where it pauses the enemy.
Yeah,
and then it will kill them after the second try. And then you can go over things with it. It's the best. It's the most versatile one.
I spent like 25 minutes this morning trying to, I think it's in the Dark World. No, or maybe it's not. I don't remember now. But you spend they give you 30 seconds to dig through a field. Like, she gives you a shovel so you can
yeah.
It's completely random.
Yep.
And I must have dug. I mean, you can only realistically get through maybe a quarter of all the field before your time runs out, right? And I did it for 25 minutes, and I just couldn't get the damn piece of heart. I was getting so pissed. And before, when I got it, before the game crashed on me, not too long ago, the very first time I jumped in that field, I dug it up, and it bounced. It was on the very edge, right by some trees, and when I dug it up, it bounced into the tree, and I couldn't get it.
Oh.
I had to go back another 10 times, and it finally came to me. But this morning, I was just getting pissed. Like, come on!
I'm pretty sure that's in the light world, right by the library where you get the book of Hyrule.
It is. It's in the light world. It's in the very left-hand side.
Yep.
No, it's in the light world, because I think what I'm doing right there is I'm portaling from a dark world to the light world right by that. So I'm just getting confused.
Yeah.
I'm jumping in between light and dark world almost every 5 minutes now. So
to me that is and also I never played Nintendo 64. I didn't play GameCube. I haven't played Wii. I have not played a single Zelda game since Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. So the only frame of reference that I have are the first one, the second one, and Link to the Past. Do you remember playing Adventure of Zelda 2 and how fucking terrible it was?
Yes. I don't remember the game I'm having a hard time remembering.
So
yes,
so
it was
the first one and Link to the Past were the open world top down view, right? And then the second one was kind of that, but then it turned it into a fucking side scroller.
Yes,
where, it turned into a Mario world where it's it was the worst, the absolute worst.
No, the first one and Link to the Past are very similar in gameplay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I remember Legend of Zelda 2 just being
crap.
What's the best word?
I was very disappointed by it.
Let me see if I can find something here.
But I've heard that the latest one that came out on Nintendo Switch is great. I think it might be called Breath of the Wild. But I've also Wind Waker, I heard was a good one. Majora's Mask, I heard was a good one.
It was horrible. This game is bullshit. Yeah, Zelda 2. I'm just looking at photos of it. I'm like,
yeah, it's the worst.
I remember now. It's more like a Mario type view. Yeah.
And it's funny because I listen to when I go down the YouTube rabbit holes, there's also a channel on YouTube called The Gaming Historian. Really, really cool insight on old video games. But also like with Cinemassacre and the Angry Video Game Nerd. I mean, there are people that swear by Legend of Zelda 2 being the best Zelda game that has ever been made. And maybe if I ever get a Nintendo again, I'll give it another go and see what it is.
No.
I'm right there. Yeah.
I think maybe because I just love Link to the Past so much, like playing games like that when it's like characters in a familiar world, like you want to play them the way that you like it the most, and I just think that's maybe too much. It's like Metroid, right? Like, all the Metroid games I can remember are all very similar. You're always Seamus, and you always can. The gameplay is very similar, just different worlds, more elaborate, whatever.
Yeah.
Like if they were to put that type of world like into Zelda, I don't think I'd like it as much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
or like, I think they did that with Mega Man. Like I think Mega Man, they changed the gameplay in one of those. I can't remember. There's so many of them.
Oh my gosh! Why would you mess with the formula of Mega Man? That's like such a tried and true thing. Like, but again, though, like you and I went like we skipped.
To find the game.
We skipped a bunch of consoles. So like we went from Super Nintendo to PlayStation.
Yeah,
we went from the PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2. Then you got an Xbox, and then I got the Xbox 360, and then I got a PS4. So like we skipped a whole 10 years worth of consoles.
Yes,
in playing. We never played 64. We never played the GameCube. We never played. There's other ones that I'm missing. I guess we just kind of left Nintendo in the dust. So we didn't, get to experience the new graphics
we did.
with Legend of Zelda or with Metroid for that matter. I remember Super Metroid just being like,
oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking
of. The first Metroid, but just with better graphics.
I think all the Metroid games are very similar.
Yeah.
They're just better looking.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think like Mega Man 2. I'm looking at Mega Mans right now.
But in saying that, I remember with the Legend of Zelda, like they went from A Link to the Past to let me look it up here so that way I'm not talking completely out of my ass.
What do you want to
know? Just the order of what they came out with.
Zelda games in order.
Yes. What is it?
Oh, so you got the Legend of... That's not right. Legend of Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
Zelda 2.
Yep.
The Adventure of Link.
Yep.
A Link to the Past for Super Nintendo.
Yep.
Link's Awakening for Game Boy.
So Link's Awakening for Game Boy, that game is just A Link to the Past on Game Boy. I mean, there's different things to it, but like I remember that the gameplay being very similar and the graphics being very similar as well.
Right. So then you have the Ocarina of Time. Did I say that?
Yes, Ocarina of Time. Now I have heard from many, many, many people online that is the best Zelda game that ever been made. Yeah. But they changed the graphics when they went to that style of gameplay. Like they turned it into an open world, but I never like. It was like really cheesy, like Nintendo Wii graphics. You know what I mean?
It wasn't like they had the technology and they're trying to figure out how to use it.
Yeah.
How can we change it to use the technology instead of how do we use the technology to improve the game?
It's very Star Wars prequel.
Too much digital. So then you got Majora's Mask in 64.
Yep.
Oracle of Ages for is that Game Boy C? What's GBC? Game Boy Cube? Game Boy
Advance? Game Boy Color.
Game Boy Color. Then Oracle of Seasons, Game Boy Color, and then I've got this one, A Link to the Past 4 Swords for Game Boy Advanced. I've got that game.
How is it?
It's good. It's very similar to A Link to the Past for SNES.
Yeah. Is that the one where you play with like 4 different links?
I don't remember. It's been so long since I played it. I should play. But whip that out and
whip it out, man. That sounds weird.
Really weird. Anyways, and there's a whole bunch of more Zelda games, but
yeah. but yeah, so we lost a whole bunch of time with Link, but like that's one of the things I want to do as
but you know what the problem is? You know what the problem is because when you stop using Nintendo, you're not playing those games anymore. And when you go away from PS4 to Xbox or PS2 to Xbox, I mean, you're done. I mean, you're done with all the Nintendo games until the Wii came out. And even then, I wasn't impressed with the options. Like, I thought the Wii was cool, and it was more for.
It was a marketing ploy. As far as I'm concerned, it was all marketing.
And I played it, but I wasn't happy with it. Like, but it, until Nintendo comes back with a true console.
Yeah. Which I don't think the Nintendo Switch is a real console. I think it was like a hybrid between you wanting to play on the big screen and everything being more mobile.
Right. And they have a game called Breath of the Wild, which I heard is pretty good. And someone at work told me I should play it, but I'm like, I don't have a Switch. That ain't gonna happen. So
yeah, I'm not gonna be buying a Switch anytime soon. If Nintendo, if you would like to donate a Switch to us, if you're listening, we would be happy to play it and review it and give you our feedback.
I'll even pay for shipping.
Wow. You know what? I'll second that. I'll pay for shipping as well.
Oh, that's good. I'm happy for you.
Hey, you know what?
Ship to me first.
I'll pay double the shipping if you ship to me first.
Wow. I'm not paying more than that. So now this is like the whole debate I had the last couple of months, because not the last couple of months, but when I had some disposable income, I wanted to give them like, well, do I get an Xbox 360 or do I get a PS4? To me, it's like the same thing. A lot of the games are cross console. So, I could play you online on some other games and, vice versa. But shit, I really wanted a PS4, but I really love Halo. And you're not going to find it on PS4.
Yeah. I was surprised to learn that Halo was never made for PS4. I mean, it seems like a huge blown opportunity.
I
even though Halo's made by Microsoft.
I think, I know. But I think people like to keep the branding so that they have their own games. And I understand it. But I think if you could do that, just think about the money you make. It's like Sony and Disney pissing over Spider-Man, It's just like, dude, figure it out and make some more money.
Exactly. Yeah.
God damn.